After the Wiggles had heard that Captain Feathersword had proposed to Lily into marrying him, they were all happy and excited for the couple to finally get married. There was a lot to do at the wedding, so Greg, along with Murray, Anthony, and Jeff, were willing to help make the wedding happen. Dorothy the dinosaur, along with Wags the dog, and Henry the octopus were in on this as well. Seeing that weddings were the best days of anyone's life, they had to prepare the invitations to the wedding as well as get other things set up. They all agreed to have the wedding at the SS Feathersword, as that's what the captain would have wanted. It took months for everyone to prepare for the wedding, and everyone was very excited for the day of the wedding to happen. What saddened Lily about the wedding is that her father, Larry, won't be there to see his daughter get married. Ever since he died from a heart attack in the meat locker at the St. John's Dairy, he wouldn't be able to walk Lily down the aisle to her husband on her special day, nor see her get married. However, he will get to see her married in spirit, even when she can't see him. This wedding is going to be amazing. They have a lot of food and celebrate the marriage of two people, Anthony said. Yup, I'm excited for the wedding, Murray replied, then turned to Greg, who was cleaning the big red car. Greg, who's getting what jobs at the wedding? Well, Space Voyager is going to be the priest who will marry Lily and Captain Feathersword. Wags the dog and Henry the octopus are going to be the captain's two best men. AJ is going to be the ring bearer. Dorothy the dinosaur is going to be the flower girl. Violet, along with Clementine, the Queen of Lions, Bailey Maloney, and a few other friends we know are going to be bridesmaids, Greg explained. We have a lot of guests to invite. I too. Who is going to walk Lily down the aisle since her father isn't around? Jeff asked. That is a good question. Why not ask Drew Pickles? He's got 3 girlfriends and his wife, so he could walk her down the aisle. I'll go call him and ask him, Murray said, then headed for the phone to call Drew Pickles and asked if he could help with the wedding. This is going to be a really great wedding, Greg said proudly, then turned his attention to Jeff. Jeff, are the benches and chairs ready for the car? They sure are, Greg. You could drive them to the SS Feathersword, Jeff replied, before heading on the couch to sleep. As Greg drove the big red car, he headed towards the SS Feathersword to drop off the benches, chairs, so that way they could be ready for the wedding. Once he did that, he headed over to the cake shop as he ordered the wedding cake that'd be perfect for the wedding. The owner of the cake shop gave Greg the wedding cake as Greg paid for the cake and had 2 figures for the cake. Once that was done, Greg drove back home and put the wedding cake in a safe place, away from Anthony, so he doesn't eat all of the cake. Once Greg had done that, he got his tuxedo suit ready for the big day. I'm excited for the wedding tomorrow. I got my suit ready along with Anthony's and Jeff's, Murray said. Same. I can't wait for the wedding. We're going to be bringing some food as well as everyone else. But Anthony will have to be watched like a hawk, just so he doesn't eat all of the food, Greg said. Anyways, Murray, did you ask Drew Pickles to walk Lily down the aisle to get married? Yeah, Drew says that he has no problem with that, Murray answered. Then the Wiggles were getting things ready for the big day. Meanwhile, at the SS Feathersword, the wedding was all set up and ready for the big day the next day. Captain Feathersword was a nervous wreck, though. He was very excited to marry Lily, but he was nervous as well. His pirate crew were doing their best to make him less nervous. Wags the dog and Henry the octopus, along with Lewis and AJ, were doing their best. I am nervous, me hearties, Captain Feathersword said, while pacing around the room. I understand the feeling, dude. You'll lose those jitters as soon as you get it over with, Lewis reassured Captain Feathersword. You'll do great at the wedding, Captain. I know you will, AJ added. We're all going to be here for this wedding. You won't be alone, Henry said. I am sure that Lily is nervous herself. Pirate Charlie is there with her, so she understands how she feels, Pirate Sam said. It'll be okay, Captain. We practiced this like months ago, Pirate Rudolph added. As a best man, Henry and I will be here throughout the whole thing, Wags said. I'm sure it'll be okay, Captain. Just trust us on this, Lewis said. Yeah, I will. If we do the pirate march, I will get rid of these jitters before the wedding, Captain Feathersword suggested. Then he did that much with his pirate crew. It made the captain feel better, so he was no longer feeling nervous as much as he was earlier. Meanwhile, at Erickson boarding school, Lily was in a room with Clementine, Violet, the Queen of Lions, Bailey Maloney, and Charlotte, and with a few other of her girlfriends. They were all excited for the wedding on the SS Feathersword. However, Lily was nervous herself. I'm not sure if I could do this, girls. I'm so nervous, Lily said. I'm sure you'll do great on your special day, Lily, Bailey Maloney replied. Yeah, Lily, it's just as easy as shooting a gun, Violet said. A bit before the wedding jitters, I see. It's normal for women to feel that way, the Queen of Lions commented. You'll be okay, Lily. You'll do great tomorrow. I know you will, Clementine reassured. But what if I can't get married? What if something happens like... Lily began to panic a bit until Pirate Charlie managed to calm her down. You'll go through it with no problem. We'll be here to watch you. Here's an idea I came up with. Smell these flowers before you walk down the aisle, Pirate Charlie suggested. They'll calm your nerves down. I can live with that. It shouldn't be that hard, Lily said. That's a good girl. Pirates can do things just about anything, Clementine smiled. They all started to get ready for bed early as they have a big day tomorrow. When the morning arrived, Lily woke up to take a shower so she could get ready for the wedding. Captain Feathersword was doing the same along with everyone else. Since today is the big day, Lily was doing her hygiene while their bridesmaids were getting the makeup and stuff ready. Clementine was going to do her hair. You can do that hair good? Violet asked Clementine. Yeah, I'm sure I can. How hard can it be? Clementine replied. Violet was going to do the makeup, while Pirate Charlie got the wedding dress ready. I'm excited for it's a big day, the Queen of Lions said. Then Lily came out of the bathroom. She had a shower and her hair was dry as she was cleaned and was ready for the big day. She wore a tank top with shorts just to get her hair done. Clementine did the hair while Violet did the makeup. Lily was enjoying having her hair and makeup done. Since she trusted her friends during the time she and Captain Feathersword were dating, Captain Feathersword was getting ready for the wedding with his pirate crew. He had his button jacket get black for the wedding, since his pirate shirt was white, and he had a nice Feathersword for the wedding with him, and he was excited for the wedding. You look amazing, Captain Feathersword, Pirate Sam said. Thanks, Pirate Sam, but I am nervous today, be hearty, Captain Feathersword replied. We'll be here for you, Captain Feathersword. Plus, we'll be here to support you, Lewis said. Food is on the table. Greg is going to be bringing the cake, AJ said to Lewis. Great. We got to make sure that Anthony doesn't eat all the cake, or Barney the dinosaur, Lewis replied. Those two and Wags would eat just about anything in sight. You bet they would. It would be something, because if they ate all the cake, then we won't have any cake at all, Captain Feathersword said, making sure his black pirate vest was all ready for the wedding. It looks like you're ready. Just in time too. Pirate Sam and Rudolph are just checking in the guests in, Lewis replied, seeing the Wiggles along with the Lioness bunch for the wedding. You can do this, Captain. It will be fun, Lewis reassured Captain Feathersword as he took a deep breath before sighing. I'll be fine, Lewis, Captain Feathersword said. After he took a deep breath to compose himself, he and Lewis were heading out for the wedding. While on the SS Feathersword deck, everyone was at their seats as they waited for the wedding to start. Anthony turned to see a wedding cake along with the other snacks at the food table, and he had thoughts on eating the cake. Just as he was about to get up to have a bite of the cake, Zach the Celtics guy stopped him before he could. If you're thinking about eating all that food at the wedding, Anthony, that ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna keep an eye on you, Wags and Barney as well, so that way you don't eat all of the food, Zach said, But I'm hungry, Zach, Anthony said, trying to come up with an excuse. Wait till after Captain Feathersword and his fiancée get married. It won't be long. I had to tell Wags and Barney to not get any ideas, Zach responded. I think the wedding's going to begin any time now, Craig stated, having to get Anthony not to focus on eating the food at the wedding till after Captain Feathersword and Lily get wed. Space Voyager was the priest, up on the post over in the arch in front of everyone. He was nervous as he could count on his friends for being at the wedding. The music started to play, signaling that the wedding was about to start. Dorothy comes down the aisles as the flower girl, followed by AJ as the ring bearer. Wags the dog and Henry the octopus walk down the aisle to be on the right side where Captain Feathersword would be. Then, Captain Feathersword walks down the aisle by Pirate Charlie, as she's one of his best friends, and he was at the front where Space Voyager is. As everyone, including the bridesmaids, were sitting, Lily walked down the aisle with her beautiful wedding dress on, while being led down the aisle by Drew Pickles. As Lily approached the front of the ark, where Captain Feathersword and Space were, the wedding was about to start. AJ was waiting on one side with the rings, while Dorothy stood beside him. Wags and Henry were at the captain's side, seeing that the wedding can now begin. The music stopped by quieting down, and everyone was all quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, shadows, space travelers, and everyone alike, we are gathered here today to witness the wedding of Captain Feathersword and Lily. These two were at first an odd couple, mainly because Captain Feathersword is the friendly pirate and funny guy, while Lily, on the other hand, is a strict and serious woman. But I never thought I would see this day that these two would make a commitment, Space Voyager said. When we started to see their love grow, they started off as friends to gain each other's trust. They started to come a long way to where they are today. Lily had started to crush on Captain Feathersword, just as he did the same on Lily. Since the two started dating after becoming friends, they also not only became best friends, but they also have feelings for each other. On the day where they were boyfriend and girlfriend for a long time, they also began to make it public for us to see their love grow. It is still growing today, and we are celebrating their marriage, Space Voyager finished, before going to the vows. Do you, Captain Feathersword, take Lily to be your lawful wedded wife, through the good times and bad times, sickness and health, till death do we part? Space Voyager asked, as AJ handed Wags the reins to give to Captain Feathersword and Lily. I do, Captain Feathersword said, as he was slipping a ring on Lily's finger. And do you, Lily, take Captain Feathersword to be your lawful wedded husband, through good times and bad times, sickness and health, till death do we part? Space Voyager asked. Lily slipped the wedding ring on Captain Feathersword's finger, then had an idea on how to respond to the vow. Ah, yabba dabba do, Lily exclaimed happily, saying the exact same thing that Pebbles Flintstone did when she got married to Bam Bam Rubble. And now I pronounce you husband and wife, as soldier and pirate. You may kiss the bride, Space announced. Then Lily along with Captain Feathersword both kissed each other, making everyone clap and cheer. With the music coming on, Lily and Captain Feathersword headed down the aisle, headed towards the dance floor, where they started to dance as husband and wife. Everyone was watching the newly wedded couple dancing on the dance floor. Happy the two were finally married, and after their dance, it was time for the food part of the wedding, to which it was Barney and Anthony's favorite part of the wedding. I really want to eat that cake, Drew, Barney said, while looking at the wedding cake.
Barney, we will eventually eat the cake. Now stop being so impatient about eating the cake. For one, it is not going anywhere. 2, Lily and Captain Feathersword both get the first slices of cake.
Drew Pickles said, telling Barney to be patient. I want McDonald's. Why are we having salad? Angelica asked, looking at the salad. It's a salad, just Angelica, and no, we're not getting McDonald's today. Please don't start any of this fit of yours and just behave yourself, and we'll get you a new Cynthia playset. Charlotte bribed just to get Angelica to behave herself. This salad's pretty good. I love it, Wags said. Glad you like it, Wags me hearty, Captain Feathersword said, as he was sitting between Lily and Wags the dog. When will the speech go on? Henry asked. It will go on now. I see that Clementine is about to go on the post stand, Lily said. I want to say that we've been through tough times since the walkers have been on our part of the universe. But despite that, me along with my boyfriend Lewis, my friends, AJ, Violet, and everyone else that is here with us. Lily and I may have not gotten along great, but when Captain Feathersword entered her life, he made her see things that she's never thought of seeing while spending time with the Delta, Clementine said, before continuing with her speech. I never thought that I would see Captain Feathersword and Wags and his pirate crew again when they took our place in Delta. After Clementine said that, Lewis came up to the post stand to make his speech. When Captain Feathersword along with Wags and his pirate crew took our places, they let us go, to which was a shocker. As Lily said, it wasn't in a negotiation or anything. I was surprised she agreed to let us go, as long as Captain Feathersword stays with her, so his pirate crew and Wags also volunteered to stay with them. But I never thought Captain Feathersword and Wags could do it, considering that he was afraid of Lily. But what he did on that night was very brave of him. Not only that, Wags and his pirate crew were also brave enough to do that, Lewis said his speech. That was when AJ came on the post stand. The two first had issues, as Lily would scare him with her yelling, actions, and etc. But he was able to tolerate more by getting to know more of why she is the way she is. The more they got to know each other, the more they started to become friends and put their differences aside and accept who they are. Someone who is strict and serious, and someone who is a funny guy who loves to sing, have soon to look deeper into who they were. There was no changing anything about these two. Their love soon started to show us, and we all have noticed, so one day, Lily decided to let Captain Feathersword, Wags, and his pirate crew go, AJ stated. And when she set them free, they came to us and said she let them go. At first we weren't sure as to why she did that, so we headed back to Delta. That was when we saw that the guards saw us. At first I thought they were going to shoot us, but they didn't, thankfully, as that was when Lily met up with Captain Feathersword, because when he came back, she was overjoyed to see him, to which it was very uncharacteristic of Lily to do that. But when she was in love with him, so that explains why she acted the way she did, Clementine said, as Wags and Henry both came to the post stand. Being the captain's best friend, I stayed with him and his pirate crew at the Delta. We took Clementine and her friends' places, mainly because they were scared. But what we did was very brave and had to keep our guards up. However, when Lily scared Captain Feathersword with her anger just one time, he attempted to run away from the walkers that were showing up. Lily arrived just in time and saved Captain Feathersword from the walkers. But when the raiders from another group showed up and tried to take our things, that was when one of them attacked Lily. But Captain Feathersword shot and killed that raider that attacked Lily, Wags said, before his speech continued. Lily, since then, Captain Feathersword and her started to warm up to each other. And they started off being friends, and their trust with one another eventually started to grow. They started to become closer. Their friendship grew more and more, until everyone in Delta started to see it. Then they both fell in love, to which it was hard to tell at first. But when Lily lets us go, she let us go because she realized that she couldn't keep him to herself all the time, since we missed the Wiggles. But one day, we all came back, and that is when Lily found out why Captain Feathersword came back. He loved her, Wags finished. When he loved her, he didn't know how to say it, because when they started to warm up to each other, eventually their relationship started to grow more and more strong. Even today, they've tied the knot together, and I'm grateful to be here, everyone, on this special day, as Lily and Captain Feathersword are finally together for as long as they live, Henry said his speech. Then Dorothy came up to do hers, and then Captain Feathersword's pirate crew members had their turns as well. Finally, it was Lily and Captain Feathersword's turn to do their speeches. I want to thank everyone who were here once enemies of mine, but until I met Captain Feathersword, all of that changed. However, it wasn't as easy from the start. mainly because me and Captain Fevisor were different, and still are today. Eventually, we started to warm up to each other and became friends for a while, and surprisingly enough, I started to really like him a lot, so me and him started to become a thing. And today, we've all tied the knot and are married today, and you all have witnessed it. When me and Captain Fevisor started to become a thing, we set aside our differences, and he taught me stuff that I never did before. That is to be more of a funny person, despite me having to go through rough shit in the past. Even when the dead started walking in my universe. I lost my dad when he had a heart attack at the St. John's Dairy meat locker. I have been broken, and emotionally broken. But when Captain Fevisor came into my life, all my sadness, broken heart, and stuff have healed. But still today, I miss my dad. I wish he was here to see his daughter married to a man that she loves. But he could still see me in spirit, Lily finished, when then her husband had a turn. Well, me hearties, I never thought I would marry someone who is a military woman who took after her father. But she showed me the ropes of being a soldier in the Delta. She had a soft spot in her heart for me, Wags, and everyone else that is here with me and us today. Once her heart was ice cold and was always a heartless monster. No offense to Lily, my wife. But when I started to get to know her more, I warmed up to her ice cold heart to get her to return the respect and love I needed. I never thought it was going to happen or work, but like magic it worked out well, despite how different me and Lily are. Captain Fevisor concluded the speeches for everyone as they all began to eat the food. After the salad was finished, they all had a steak dinner with mashed potatoes and with other great sides to go with it. Everyone also had some of their snacks and their favorite dishes and finished their dinner. And as when the wedding cake was brought out to be viewed by Greg, he had to hide it from Wags, Anthony, and Barney, since they would both eat all the cake, like the piglets they are. "Oh boy, cake time!" Barney said with joy. "Let's cut the cake now," Lily said, as she and Captain Fevisor both cut the cake together. Once they cut the first piece, Lily shoved the cake piece into Captain Fevisor's face, to which he did the same for Lily. As they cut slices of the wedding cake, everyone had some of the wedding cake, to which it was really good. Drew had to make sure that Barney didn't eat all the cake. The same could be said for Wags and Anthony, since the two were stuffing their faces with food. After the dinner and the cake, Captain Fevisor and Lily had decided to dance some more. The Wiggles also had sang a few of their songs for the wedding as the couple to dance to, as they were dancing to slow music. Once the wedding was finished, everyone all had a good rest of their evening and night after the wedding. And they also have to admit it, this was a really great wedding.